Hey guys, John here, and today I'm going to be giving my speech over the band Blink 182. So, if you don't know the band Blink 182, they are a pop punk group from Poway, California, and the members consisted of Scott Rayner on drums, Mark Hoppus on vocals and bass, and Tom DeLonge on guitar and vocals. And they started back in 1992 in Poway, California. So the main three parts that I'm going to be focusing on here in the speech is pre-Travis Barker, pre-hiatus, and post-hiatus. So the band started in 1992 and they had their very first demo album, Buddha, which was an alright album. It didn't make very many sales, but it was just their demo album, which was in 1993. And then in 1995, they had their album Cheshire Cat, which had some songs that got on the Billboard list, and they got some recognition for that. And then in 1997, they had their album Dude Ranch, which got them a little bit more attention, and they started getting a little bit more famous after that album. But then in 1997, Scott Rayner, the drummer, he was having some issues and couldn't really find himself in the band, and he had to back out for one of the shows. And there was the band they were touring with, the Aquabats, their drummer Travis Barker. They asked him to fill in for them, and he had 45 minutes to learn all 20 of their songs that they were going to be playing on stage, and he came out and killed it. They really liked him, said, "If we ever need you, would you be willing to join?" Sort of that thing. And Scott Rayner turned into a very big alcoholic in about, the late 90s, and so he was having some family issues and decided to leave the band. So Travis Barker joined the band, which was probably the best thing that could have happened for the band, because after Travis Barker joined the band, they released the album Enema of the State, which was a release in 1999, and that made them go on their kind of just set them off. They got their first platinum record. They sold over 15 million copies, and it had, it's what set them off and made them a really big band. And they had the song All the Small Things, which most people know. That was in 1999, and in 2001 they had their album released, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and that had some songs that got them out there, but it wasn't quite as big of a hit as Enema of the State. And then in 2003, Blink 182 put out their self-titled album, Blink 182, and that had some more Billboard chart sort of, songs on there. And then after that, the band kind of took a hiatus because Tom DeLonge, the vocalist and guitar player, was not being a very good band member, I guess you could say. And so they decided to break up for a while. Tom DeLonge had decided on 6 months. And so Travis Barker, the drummer, and Mark Hoppus, vocals and bass, decided that, they wanted to keep writing music and that sort of thing. So they started their own side project, Plus 44, back in 2008, because the hiatus, Tom DeLonge decided to take a little bit longer than 6 months, and it actually lasted about 4 years. And so Plus 44 was sort of, making music. And then Tom DeLonge started Angels and Airwaves, which was his side project. And then in 2008, the drummer Travis Barker got into a plane crash, and it was very bad. 4 people died and only 2 survived. And so he had second and third degree burns all over his bodies. He had 14 surgeries and blood transfusions. And so after that, Tom DeLonge decided he wanted to start making music again. Mark wanted to start making music with them again, so they got back together once Travis Barker was all healed up. And so they came back in 2009 with a big North American reunion tour that sort of set off, and they decided to work on their next album, Neighborhoods, which was released in 2011. And sales for that album were very bad, and it wasn't a good comeback album. And then they decided to release another EP, shorter album called Dogs Eating Dogs back in 2012, and that was also not a good album. So after that, things were sort of rough, and then in 2014, so about 2 years after their last record they had made, Tom DeLonge decided to leave the band. But in an interview, I think the next day after he decided to leave the band, he commented and said that his manager actually emailed the other members of Blink 182 and said, hey, he's leaving the band. So Tom DeLonge didn't actually mean to leave the band. I guess it was kind of an accident. So after that, they didn't cancel any of their shows that they had coming up, and so they decided to bring out Matt Skiba, who was the vocalist for the Alkaline Trio, and he sort of rocked the stage, so they decided to make him a permanent member. And that was in 2015, and in 2016 they released their album California, which was their first album with their new vocalist Matt Skiba, and actually got them their first Grammy nomination, and it hit #1 on Billboard Top 200. So Tom DeLonge leaving was a good thing for the band. And that's all I got for you on the band Blink-182. I hope you enjoyed listening to this speech.